again, technical difficulties. This time only 12 minutes. Welcome to the Fix This Build That live show. If you are joining us on Instagram, we are live on YouTube as well. I'm not even going to put it down there because honestly, I'm pretty aggravated right now. But thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. I'm Brad.
I'm Susan.
This is Susan. And we're just going to be talking with you guys today about woodworking and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, not crazy stuff, probably pretty normal stuff. But yeah, we have this whole live stream, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And there's no rhyme or reason. It's like, it's like if you fail once, then shame. That's not the right analogy. But basically, it's like, oh, we can figure this out.
Right.
And then when it's like, oh, you got to restart your computer. We'll restart the computer.
Do that. Yep.
Didn't work.
No.
Plug it and unplug it. Didn't work. Change the set.
No.
And then all of a sudden, it just starts working out of nowhere.
Well, and that's the thing I think that drives you crazy is like, because you're Brad's a problem solver, and so he wants to figure out how to fix it. And then when it's different every time,
it's honestly
crazy.
driving me crazy.
But it's working now.
Cheers.
So cheers to that. We're happy to be here live.
Yes.
Yay.
But my frustration, if you can see it on my face, is because of that. It's palpable.
Relatively speaking, small potatoes, right?
Sure. We don't have coronavirus. And
we don't have coronavirus, which is good. Yeah.
All right. Let's see who we have over here. Why don't you check out our YouTube folks. I'm going to look at the comments over here on IG. Who we got here? Zoe. What is up, Zoe? We've got, who else we got here? Aloha from Hawaii. Splinter Concept. What's up? Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Pierre, how's it going? And Hazy Little Thing. Susan loves the Hazy Little Thing. Wood Duck, what's up? And Holbrook Woodco, how is it going? All right. Who we got over here on the...
Teresa's here. She's been here since
what's up?
Before we
started.
Appreciate that, Teresa. Loyalty. And Richard Schmidt knows it. Rick,
yeah.
Rick, okay.
Rick and Beth.
Rick and Beth. Oh,
yep.
Hey, Rick. And the Box Store Workshop is here. Blaine is back, and he says technology is overrated.
Technology is overrated, Blaine.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
Your mom's here, keeping us sane right now, though.
I don't know if that means... she just writes mom.
Does she write mom?
Yeah, mom, right there.
Oh, I was looking. She has an earlier comment.
Keeping us sane right now. Yeah.
So Garrett Fink, I like this one. He said, "It's not like I have anything better to do." So,
that's right.
We have a captive audience right now.
So if you guys have not seen it already, we just launched a video on garage shelving, DIY garage shelving. They're right over there. And it used to look like this because this is an offcut from the shelving.
This was the spacers, right?
Those were the here.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a different.
Something?
Yeah, here, hand me all those. I don't want to drop it on the computer.
Right here, I'll just zoom one at a time because they were going right now.
All right, so thank you. One at a time. I'm pretty proud of this, honestly, in the sense of not proud of these 2x4s, but this is basically the entire waste from the project. So I made out of 12 2x4s and a sheet of OSB, 4x8 sheet of OSB. You're able to get 4 shelves, 16 inches deep, 72 inches wide, 6 feet wide.
Yeah, right, yeah.
69 inches wide, actually, but plus the legs. This is all the waste. And then you actually use this for spacers to
some teeny little
to mount the shelves. And then some little cuts of OSB.
But like barely anything from the OSB. It was awesome.
Yeah, one of the
efficiency.
One of the things I always try to do when I'm making projects is the design. And that's part of the value I try to give to you guys is to make it super efficient so that you can spend less time doing it and, more importantly, spend less money so that I try to use as much material as possible.
Especially right now. People don't
spend a
lot of extra money if they don't have to.
And a lot of people are in hard times. And so anyway, being able to get it down to that was pretty awesome. And we ended up using those pieces anyway for the, like I said, the space. There were a couple little extra, but like...
Does it feel good inside when you design a project and it's like that efficient?
It does.
Do you get a little like...
Well, it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Because when you do make a project that efficient, like the cutoffs for the regular 2x4s was like that much. So if you mess anything up, you're hosed.
Well, there's that.
So you got to be
a lot of room for error.
You got to be on your game.
Yeah.
You got to be on your game. But anyway, so how many of you guys were able to check that out so far? I do have free plans available for that. So if you're looking to build some, like I said, for about $60 in lumber before taxes, depending upon your area, you can get that done.
The
So
disclaimers before taxes.
before taxes in your area,
depending on where you live.
the
But
supplies may be limited in your area.
if you want to get organized, I feel like everyone's getting organized right now. You know.
Why did I build shelves? The woodshop kid says, why did I build shelves rather than buy some? And I think it just answered that
Right.
in part. One, because what you can get for $60 will not come anywhere near the amount of storage or the sturdiness that you can get out of what I just did. So it's way cheaper, and they are way more sturdy. And I got to build them and make a video. So, that's like
Right.
the triple.
Well, that's like, and I think that it's kind of in our nature now to just, if we can possibly build something, we're going to build it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
They're sturdy.
David Macklin, great question here.
Can you tell us the story behind your handle name? Did you think of it, or is it because of your wife? That's right. David, I'm glad you asked that question.
Would you like to field this one?
I mean, as I recall it, you can jump in. We were looking at names, and I don't know. For a long time we were looking at names, and I
It's not
came
like a
up
long
with.
time.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't like
it felt like
years.
it because but like you're writing out different names and stuff, and something sounded cool, but then like whatever. But what I thought of was what is the message of what Brad was trying to create at that time. And especially in the early days, it was about how to fix things, because you're very good at fixing things, and how to build things. And so I am the one that came up with fix this, build that.
She was.
But
Because the original idea for the
the
channel,
whole idea.
which is interesting because for the first couple years of the channel, it wasn't like that at all. For the first, and it was like of the blog and the Instagram. The whole idea when we started this thing was that I would do home repairs and woodworking,
Right.
and so fix this, build that. But for the first 2 to 3 years, at least, it was all just building. There was no home renovation, and so now just recently we've kind of scaled into that, doing flooring and doing different projects around the house,
Right.
doing fixing, adding
Right.
things to the house. So it's been interesting.
But I feel like
we're
that's
now
been-
getting to it.
Yeah, well, that's been the journey.
Because we didn't always
Well, because
do that.
your backstory. So Brad before I knew him, he bought like 100-year-old home in Cincinnati back in his single days, and he fixed that whole place up. I mean, like you did the plumbing, you did wiring. I think
everything. I learned
you did
everything.
everything, and so that's how he learned how to do a lot of
Not
stuff.
well,
Is
but
what?
I said I didn't learn to do it well. I just
Well, but I mean,
learn how to hack.
you learn.
We always
you
talk
know?
about, Ask This Old House.
Right.
Was one of my favorite shows to watch because I could learn how to do certain things.
Right.
So
And you had like a million books, that you could use as a resource.
yes,
Before
magazines, books, before
yeah.
this whole
So anyway,
internet thing came up.
So that was very much a whole thing.
Let's
but
see
yeah.
here. Seven Setter says,
Eder
love your
3.
work. Thank you, man. Dave Waits, what's up, Dave? Bill Niemeyer, what is up, Bill? All right, we got Kali out there as well, Kali, and Wade from Hillcraft. Awesome.
Hey, Wade.
Could you show us how to make a small container for a succulent? I don't think I've
Oh.
ever done that.
For a
And
succulent, that
we,
sounds
we,
nice.
we talked about doing some succulent planters
We
before, but
did.
they're just like,
Real small, right?
in all honesty, it's just not that sexy for me. Like it's not that sexy. It's just not that attractive to me in the sense of making a video and things for it because it's such a small project.
Well, we had
They don't
that
do very well.
conversation. Brad built for our front porch. He built like a plant stand holder. Remember?
Yep.
Like just because we needed it, like those cool. Like
I shared that on Instagram.
Oh, did you? Oh, you did. That's
I
right.
did a picture of it.
And like we thought about making a video out of it, but again, it was just kind of small, right?
Yeah.
It would have had to have been like bigger or more of them or something. I think that kind of falls in the same category, but sounds nice.
Yes. Let's see here.
What you got?
JCCT says, ¿Cómo se puede hacer una caja de herramientas sencilla? I don't know what that means.
I was really waiting to be blown away.
I
as
know.
You
I
translated
think
that.
¿Cómo se puede is what do you bring to a caja
What's
de
a
herramientas? I don't know.
Herramientas?
I don't know what that means.
We
I
don't
think
know.
herramientas is like something about female. But I'm only I haven't got to spend that.
question?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's move on.
So $300 in Canada. Yes. All right. Let's roll over
Canada.
to let's
Okay,
go to
yeah.
YouTube because
Yep.
I feel like we've been given the
All
Insta
right,
love here for a
so
moment.
I know. So let's see. Taylor Hubble says,
Barefoot Forge. Craig, what's up? Sorry.
hey, Brad and Susan. And then Belaine says, cheers. Your mom says, mom. We covered that already,
did, yes.
Big Willie's Garage. What's up, guys?
You
Thanks.
don't have to. You don't
I
have to
don't
actually
know.
read everything.
I was trying to figure out how
There's
to
an art.
scroll.
See, I take it for
know.
granted.
Ooh,
So I've been doing.
Red says hello from Okinawa, Japan.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. I was trying to think of it. Yeah.
I have no idea if that's right or not.
I think that's right.
But I've been doing lives for about 4 years, and there is definitely an art to just kind of blabbing and talking and reading and keeping up with everything.
You're a good blabber.
I am a good blabber. And so, and I know you've not quite gotten that yet.
I know. I'm trying to
you have to know when to like just scroll through the
Scott's
ones
on
that are
here.
just like, and be like, oh.
Scott, it says he's sitting in his
what?
driveway, drilling pocket holes and listening to Brad and Susan.
Beth is washing the turtle.
I'm sorry, what?
Is that a euphemism for something
You
else?
better stop. They probably have
I
a
don't
turtle
know, like,
and it needed a
is it,
bath.
I mean, maybe not a euphemism. I mean, like, like a car or something. Like they call it the turtle or washing the turtle.
I don't know.
I feel like that.
I feel like we need more information.
What do you think? Washing the turtle. What's the best?
Gosh,
No, maybe
Brad,
we shouldn't do that.
No.
But fill your
Okay.
comments down below. What would you?
Okay.
If somebody told you they were
says-
washing the turtle, what would
okay,
you think they were
let's
meaning?
move away from the turtle. Blaine says he's going to be making the workbench that you designed this week. Totally stoked. Wish him luck.
Love it.
Good luck,
Awesome,
Blaine.
Blaine. Fantastic.
Awesome. And then Lipinski.
DFM Toolworks. What's up?
Lipinski 24 just came in from cleaning his basement. I don't think that's the same thing as washing a turtle, but
No.
you know.
And so, hey guys, if y'all are on Instagram, we are on YouTube. That's where we are live right now. If you go to my main channel, you can't really get it through there, and I don't have the link, but if you go to my main channel on YouTube, it is there as a second channel. So if you go to my main channel and like the, youtube.com/fix this build that, and on the right hand side, there'll be a little link to go to on desktop. There'll be a little link to go to Fix This Build That Live. So that's where we're at. Please join us over there because we're going to be signing off shortly on Instagram and just doing YouTube because it's a much better experience.
Once it works.
Way better when it works. I will give
Once it gets
Instagram
going,
that.
it's great.
On Instagram, I push the button and I'm done.
So easy.
On YouTube, it's a whole hot mess.
Yeah, they make you work for it. I've got a good question here. Brian De Silva says, "What's one tool you wouldn't go cheap on?" Parentheses, joiner, table saw, etc. I know.
One tool I wouldn't go cheap on.
Right.
I would say.
I thought you were going to say joiner.
I'm looking at it right
You're
now.
always
I'm
talking about
eyeing
the
it.
joiner.
I am. I never would recommend, and never do recommend a benchtop joiner.
Yes, I've heard this many times.
Yes, and I've said it many
He
times.
said if you can't afford to get a benchtop joiner,
Then don't
wait
get one.
and
Or
get
a
a joiner
bandsaw.
when you can afford it.
Unless like you legitimately do not have the space, like no way, no how. But if it's just a money thing, I would always save up and get a nicer jointer.
Or buy one used on Craigslist.
Or correct.
Right.
Or bandsaw because of the size. And that's what I'm going to say there. So don't cheap out on those. Don't go benchtop versions of either of those tools, joiner or bandsaw. But a benchtop planer is great. I mean, that's a nice thing about being a 13-inch planer. I've been using those for my whole woodworking career. As long as I've had a planer, I've used benchtop ones, and they're fantastic. Joiners and bandsaws, not so much.
Okay.
Not
Good
so
to
much.
know.
All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Scott, reporting back on the turtle. Sorry.
Yes, it's an actual
It's
turtle.
literally a turtle.
It's literally a turtle.
I didn't know turtles needed to
All
have
right.
baths.
I didn't either.
But we've never had a turtle. Good reason that we wouldn't
Who
have
knew?
that.
Is it Donatello or Michelangelo?
This is fun. I laugh at his jokes. That was a horrible joke.
She eggs me
but
on.
I laughed.
Tool
bad.
Bonnie, how are you? 507 planer joiner. Which would you buy first? Planer for sure. Wolf Construction from New Zealand. What's up, guys? Jason Dollarhide. What is up? Morales Talley from Cajula, Mexico. What is up? Love the plant stand. Rona said she loved the plant stand. Alyssa, what's the favorite miter joint clamp? Trying to make a frame for a mirror.
Miter joint clamp.
I like a web clamp especially for picture frames.
Is that the
A
one
web
that wraps
clamp.
around it?
Yep,
Yep.
and it's right here, so I'll grab it.
So
I
handy.
love a web clamp for that application.
Yeah, you did that on the picture
They're not the
frame
cheapest.
video.
Yeah, if you go look at my video on how to make a picture frame on my YouTube channel, it's this little bad boy right here.
It looks
and
super cool when it's
it is.
on
It's
the
got these little corner clamps, so it doesn't won't dent your corners, so you can kind of go right over them.
Yep.
Highly recommend those for that. And if you need a link to it, I think you can find one on fixthisbuildthat.com/tools. I believe.
We just really accumulate a lot of stuff.
We do. As woodworkers, we have a lot of
when
stuff.
we had to unload the shelves that we had over in that area and then like get them out of the way and then haul those out and put new shelves. That was fun and
There was
stuff.
a lot of stuff.
There was a lot of stuff. And it was
there's
like
still a lot
an
of stuff.
outdated storage area. I know there's still a lot of stuff,
I
but
know,
you
we
need
can't,
it, I
we
guess.
can't
I
save
don't
it all.
know.
Jason, what is up? The Happy Hour podcast. What's the Happy Hour podcast?
I don't know. Sounds fun.
Yes. Hazy Little Thing is the best beer you've ever had, and why is it the best?
Well, I'm sorry, what was the question?
He says, is Hazy, I don't think it was a question.
Oh.
It was more like, is it and why is it the best? It was, it's kind of like yes, a clever Texas Yankee Carpenter. What is up? Our kids upstairs are doing something.
Yeah.
Josh Hescott, favorite
hear
bald
loud
maker from
banging.
Michigan. You can say me. I don't mind. Love it, Josh. I'm the favorite going bald maker in Tennessee, but not now. I've got the full bat
He's
wings
got like
going.
wings going on. I tried to convince him to let me
yeah.
give him a coronavirus haircut.
Not yet. We're not there yet.
He's not desperate enough yet.
But hey, if you guys are following on Instagram, please go over to the YouTube. We're a little lighter, and I know we're a little light because we started so late. But
right. Unfortunate.
it is what it is, as they say.
It is what it is, yes.
All right, what do we have over
All
here?
right,
I saw
so-
that it's literally a turtle.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's literally
it's
a turtle.
got-
Good to know.
Do you ever get all the sawdust out of your pockets? Worth effort? Never. There's
What?
always like a little bit. Watch.
Really?
Check it out.
I'm not out here enough. I don't get sawdust in my
I
pockets.
mean, like, look. See? You see that?
Oh, I bet that drives you crazy.
No, not really. I mean,
Really?
stop. So here, I got a little, and it's not, it's never, I mean, that's not even a pic. We are in
It's just
1080p.
fuzz.
There's like a little piece of sawdust. No, you can never get the sawdust
No.
completely out of your stuff.
Well, I feel like anytime I see someone do a video where they're like throwing sawdust in the air,
gosh, that
or
just
like
drives-
blowing
like
it around, I'm like,
Jason Hibbs from
Brad
Bourbon
is
Moth.
like, oh,
He
no.
like jumps in a pile of sawdust
Oh
and like
my
covers his face up, and I'm
gosh.
like, first of all, you're gonna die.
Brad
of
cannot
lung
handle that.
cancer
Die from lung
that.
cancer.
I mean, I don't know, like stuffing sawdust in your mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Not-
probably wouldn't.
not
You'd probably die
advised.
from choking. But anyway, no, I hate sawdust.
He does.
Um,
He's like on a war against sawdust.
Yeah, and
the
so
shop.
as much as I do hate it, no, you can never get it like out of your pockets. The pockets, like the corner of the pocket, you can never get out of the corner of the pocket.
It just hides. All right.
Brian, what is my next tool purchase? That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I have a few tools that are on hold
On hold.
because of
Corona?
Corona,
Corona.
and that is going to be a full-size planer. I will be going with a
You
full-size
were
planer.
just talking about your bunched out planer.
It served me great. I mean, I have had it for 15 years.
I know.
But
I was thinking about it when you were talking about that.
I know.
Yeah.
So that
That's
and
gonna be awesome.
it is. It's beastly. It's gonna be the 15-inch jet.
I'll have to figure out where to put it.
They're I don't even know what they call it, but it's like a different head mount. Like the head, the table. I don't even know. I'll get it and I'll figure it. But they basically flip the script and it almost completely eliminates snipe because of the way that because the cutter head is not suspended. It's like the cutter head is solid and the table floats, and so you don't get the racking. So when you
The table
a lot of
floats?
times snipe happens because the cutter head, when it comes in there, the cutter head gets this like small jolt when the outfeed and infeed when the
'Cause
outfeed
it's
roller
not
hits
even, like it's like
before it comes in.
Yeah.
So quick, and if you go watch my video on how
there's
to
a video for that.
reduce snipe, it'll
Yep.
show this. But if you're feeding in from this way, there's a roller, and there's a cutter head, and then an in-feed roller and an out-feed roller, and these are like pressure rollers, and that's what holds it down. So when the first roller hits the piece of wood, what happens is that second one is not engaged yet, and so what happens is it, because like it has all this pressure on one side, then it passes under, starts cutting, and then that second one hits, and now you've got constant pressure, and so it's all good. But what happens on the back end is when that outfeed in-feed roller comes off of it, now all the pressure's here, and so it drops, and that's why you get the snipe on the back a lot of the time. That's how a lot of that happens. So
And I'm trying to remember the wood last week that you said you do not like because it's not forgiving for that was not cherry.
not for snipe, but it's just
Which one was that though? Do you remember?
elm.
Elm.
We were talking
Elm.
about how we hated elm.
Right. Well, I have
That,
no
but it's
feelings
not
about
for that
elm.
reason. But
But there was
Susan
like
hates
a
elm
thing about
by,
elm. Yeah.
By
Sorry. Yeah. Cool.
just by isolation by. What am I
Oh my
trying to
gosh.
say?
Rick says the turtle's name is Shelly.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
this
great.
wasn't Shelly from Finding Nemo. Was that the Shelly
I
guy?
think it was Crush, right?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah.
He's
It's
fantastic.
fun. That's a good movie.
Yes, the Chow. What's up? He's loving the long hair. Any dangerous street fights lately, David Macklin? No street fights lately. I don't know if that's something I said earlier, but
I was gonna say, should I know about that?
Bald Rooster, building the flip top stand in Texas. Fantastic.
All right.
Let's see here. Marco Cruz, what's up, dude? And we got Julio and Idio Santos from Brazil. What's up, guys? Two of them from Brazil.
Nice.
When I was first starting
You
out,
still
where
have
did
a lot
I
of
find?
people from Brazil or
I
Argentina?
know we do. I love it. I wonder what time it. What time is it in Brazil, guys? What
Right.
time is it? Because we always
time.
get a good amount
Definitely.
of Brazilians and Chile. Well, we should know that. I mean, that's like they're only like a couple hours behind us because they're basically like West Coast. They're on the same.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Sure. I mean, they're like
Right.
further. Yeah.
they're like right under us.
Yeah. Well,
They're either on West Coast or
Shifted a
Mountain
little
Time.
bit
I
over. Yeah,
would
yeah.
assume. Let's hear. Where did I get plans? Eli, when I was first starting out, I got plans. A lot of stuff from inspiration from the Wood Whisperer and Jay Bates, and seeing especially what Jay used to do in his shop. And then from there, like I've just read so many magazines and looked at so many different things. I knew what I wanted because I've been in woodworking for a long time, at least digesting it. And so I knew the kind of stuff I wanted to build. And I just designed it myself, a lot of it. And the way I would do is I would typically take a different design and then
Right.
make it mine, like make the changes. I'm like, oh, I wish that had
or
this,
think
this,
of
or
a way you
that.
could improve it. Or
Right, like
just
I have
do it
a
little
cordless
different.
charging drill station that I took one of Jay's, that was one of my first projects on the
Mm-hmm.
blog. I took his design for the cordless charger, and I was like, well, I think it'd really be cool if it had a drawer, because his didn't, and he had like screws on the bottom, and he had it hanging, and so I basically flipped it and then added a drawer, and that was like an example of taking something, inspiration from somebody else.
Yeah. So Taylor wants to know tips for glue on clamps, packing tape, waxing the surfaces, and what to do after the glue has hardened on them. That sounds like a problem.
No, that's a good question, Taylor.
You don't want glue on your clamps.
Yeah, glue on clamps. I've done a couple different ways, and I'll tell you one way not to do.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
I know, there's a
Don't
little
set it on
suspense
fire.
there.
Like what?
No, I would. One thing I would not do with the clamps, because I've done it and had bad experience, is put wax on them.
Oh.
Because it sounds, and I've seen people do it, and some people get away with it, but definitely not on a pressure, like a friction clamp, meaning a squeeze clamp, because those work on just friction. Whereas like some of the other clamps, they have like positive stops. You can wax those, that's fine. But anything that needs friction to hold it in place, don't do that, because
What happens?
what do you think happens?
It gets on the wood, it hardens on, it
No.
squeezes out. I don't
No.
know.
Well, it's a surface that works on friction, and you're waxing it,
Oh, so it'll slide off.
so it slides.
Gotcha.
So then, like,
Kind
it
of
doesn't.
defeats the purpose.
Right, and so what I found is, like, I did that on a couple squeeze clamps I had, and it ended up I can't cinch those down as hard as I used to. So now
really?
I'll
Do you
do
still
it.
have them?
Yeah, it's those little Irwin ones right there, the blue ones.
Oh.
And then I tried to rough them back
Oops.
up, and it's kind of gotten it better. But yeah, I've had bad experience with that. So I typically use packing tape, clear packing tape, or blue tape. That's what I did on that on the table. Yeah, I put that blue tape because you were like, why'd you put the blue tape down?
Which table? Oh, the dining room table?
Yeah, the one we just did on
Yeah,
those
yeah,
big
yeah.
on the long blue clamps
Yeah.
there. I put the tape down.
It's like you're always taping your clamps.
Yeah, I'll use
Packing. You
blue
love that
tape,
blue
or
tape.
blue tape's better because it's easier to take
Brad
off.
is like the most economical. Like he's the
I am.
most economical usage. That's not the right way to say that.
User
like
of blue
user of blue tape. It's
is
like
true.
you would think that stuff is
$1 million a roll.
$1,000 a roll. He's like, oh, do you need to use that much blue tape? Every time.
Yeah, I'm like, don't use the blue tape. Get
Like,
the
you know,
other
we can
stuff.
just buy more. It's not that
Pablo
expensive.
Pizarro. I'm going with that. From Chile, what's up, man? Do you have any more
Hey.
projects for shop storage?
We
Absolutely.
have a lot.
That's
This stuff.
basically all we do around
That
here.
stuff. Yeah.
But I'm going to be expanding those. Actually, I want to ask you guys a question. So for those of you
Do
here
it.
on the tubes and on the gram,
I don't know why that was funny to me. Just the way you said it. The tubes.
I am going to be adding some cabinets just off screen here on Instagram, and then you guys can see it just where the bandsaw is if you're on YouTube. And what I'm going to be doing the same type cabinet that I've done before right here of the uppers and the lowers. I'm considering, actually I haven't talked to you about this yet. I know.
Live on air. Here for the
Is
first time.
I'm considering doing a more in-depth video and having like building those again.
Right.
And doing like just
Like the same with
full-
all the compartments and stuff? Okay.
and doing or something very similar.
Okay.
At least like the outer construction. And
Right.
then do I saw that yawn.
I know. Sorry, I'm tired.
We call her snoozing.
I know.
Instead
I
of
fall
snoozing
asleep.
because she's super
If
sleepy
it's
all the time.
after 8 o'clock at night.
After 8, she's out.
I could be
Or
sleeping
if we're in the
at
car
any
ride for
moment.
more than 10 minutes.
That's true.
But
Okay,
what I was
back to
considering doing
business,
is like going like full Wood Whisper style, like the Guild, and just doing a like hour long like how I build, like going into all the details, giving all the
Wow.
tips.
Are you gonna have like soft music playing in the background?
And
while you do
then
it?
no music, and just instruction, and then packaging that with the cabinet bundle.
Oh.
So I have a shop cabinet bundle where you can
Yeah.
buy that. It's $29. You can
Ooh, I
get
like
all
that.
the 5 plans, and then have that be like an add-on.
Yeah.
So
So if you're building it for the first time and you're like,
Right,
I
so if
need
you
a
just-
little bit more,
if you just want the plans, go for
Right.
it. And that's what everybody's been doing so far, and people have been having great
and
success.
they've built them,
But that if they wanted to
be
have
able to like look and see.
to have like a really in-depth
yeah.
video where I talk about tips and tricks. What are
maybe,
y'all's
like,
thoughts on that?
Maybe you could like look
and,
at.
and I'll throw. And I honestly I
Sorry.
haven't looked at the price. I haven't thought too hard about the price point. But I would imagine it would probably be. I don't even want to say anything because I'd have to think about it. Let's just call it double. Let's call it an additional $29, and I think that would be as high as it would go. So let's say $20 to $29. Is that something that would be attractive to you guys to have an additional hour of content on like each piece of that build?
And like answering
amongst
like
yourselves.
questions
Yeah,
that
answering
people
questions.
have had and like.
Because like in the short YouTube videos, I always
Yeah.
get a lot of feedback. Man, I wish you would slow down. It's like, okay,
Right.
I understand that, but I can't because
Or there's like frequently asked
it
questions.
would drop off. You know, the retention would just drop off so fast. Anyway, I'm thinking about that, so I'd love to hear y'all's input.
What do you all think?
Oh gosh,
Oh no.
ignore time limit
Right, for today.
for
There you go.
today.
Sorry.
It's gonna kick
Technical
us out, isn't it?
difficulties
Okay,
again.
no, it's not. Okay, cool.
All right, good. Yeah. Well, I would love to hear people's. I think it
Barrio,
sounds like
which
a good
jig do
idea.
you use for your hinges? Barrio, I use the Craig concealed hinge jig. It works a treat.
David Birch says, hello, everyone. And Blaine, oh gosh, he's giving us an update on sanding his cedar post.
Oh yeah.
It was
How
a
did go?
total fail. Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Paint would not come off. Blaine,
Dude.
what are other options? Thought about wrapping them, but may not look good. Aren't these on his front porch?
Cedar post.
Is that the one that we were talking about?
Yeah,
Blaine,
I
last
wonder
week? Oh,
about
gosh.
wrapping them.
Wrapping them with what?
Honestly, Blaine, if so, to let everybody else in on this
Not
conversation,
come
Blaine
off.
had some cedar posts on his front porch, and
Right.
he was trying to get the paint off them. If you're sanding and it's not coming off, like that's probably not paint in cedar, because like it will come off eventually if you sand, and you might go through like a bazillion things, and maybe you're just saying like, hey, it's not coming off easily, but like if you're not getting down to bare wood, something's wrong in that situation, because you should be able to sand through paint with, wear a respirator for sure,
Right. Don't
especially
inhale
if it's an
that.
old house. If your house was built, when in the lead-based paint era, you probably don't want to be messing around with that anyway. But
Well, respirator, right? Or no?
no, you
No?
don't. No,
Oh,
you
okay.
don't sand.
Oh.
You would just encapsulate it. But anyway,
gotcha.
something's wrong there, dude, because that just doesn't seem right to me, quite honestly. What
Keep us
is
posted.
yeah, worth effort? What's the most production-oriented
I saw that
project
one.
you've ever done or
Does that mean like
planning?
making a lot of them?
That's what I'm taking it as.
Oh yeah.
I
Good
don't know.
question.
You know what it was probably?
Cutting boards.
Cutting boards potentially, but those.
That's a nice way of saying no. Not that
You
one.
remember those coasters?
Oh yes, I do remember the coaster. It's funny when you like find things in our house. Like I found a coaster the other day that Brad made years ago. And what did you use, the laser machine?
I used to have a laser.
And it had like a hamburger on it. It was real funny.
That's what I got. What?
Oh, is it here?
I did a whole.
Yeah.
I did a whole.
And he was like, "This is gonna
so
be
this is
it,
perfect.
man." You know.
I did a whole food series. So we had the pizza coaster,
I think you need to hold it closer so that people can see.
the taco.
Yeah.
It's gonna be out of focus if I
Taco
go closer.
Tuesday.
Or the hot dog.
dog.
And then the other one was a hamburger, and that one's
Yes,
inside.
and that's in. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere
So,
inside right now.
but yeah, I thought the Taco Tuesday was really gonna
Yeah.
be good. But
I mean, they were fun. That was
They
when you
were
first
fun.
got your laser, right?
right, and so these are 1/4-inch plywood, which is not a great material for coasters because of the sealing. Like you have to have these pre-sealed up, or
Right.
it'll delaminate and all that good stuff. But I made a huge batch of
A lot.
Tennessee ones, the
Like
TriStar.
circles, yeah.
So if you're familiar with Tennessee, our flag has a circle with 3 stars in it, TriStar State, which represents West,
3
Middle, and
regions.
East Tennessee.
Yes.
And anyway, I made a whole bunch of those.
And then they just sat there.
And that was a huge.
Pretty
they're still
much.
sitting there in
Right.
the office.
If
It
anybody
was a
wants
huge
some-
pain in the butt to do that and then
Laser
sand
guns.
them and then
Oh.
finish them all.
Well, and that was really
was-
early on, and
I mean, I
think
made-
that was.
I don't know, a couple hundred.
Oh yeah, I think that was when you were like, okay.
Oh, and I thought I
this
could
is
make
not
money
my
off
thing.
it.
Like I'm not gonna try to mass produce things. Like
I was like,
not
well,
that. It was a learning lesson.
you think about it this way. I thought, I'll push the button and the laser will cut it for me.
Right, and do all the work.
And do all the work. What I didn't
was a
realize
lot.
is lasers don't sand. And lasers don't apply finish. And lasers
now
don't
we know.
cut things out. And
Yeah.
so that was the beginning of the end for the laser as well.
Yeah, that laser's.
I like this. Bob the Barbarian says,
Bob the Barbarian.
hey, that's what he
That's
says.
a great name. Good use of alliteration.
Canadian or American bacon?
Oh, American. He is a huge fan of Canadian bacon.
On pizza?
On pizza.
Canadian, 100%.
I like.
On
I would
anything
rather
else,
have sausage on my pizza if it's
American.
that choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, what's up? Callie in the house. Dad
Okay.
Star. Debbie Math, am I going to collaborate with John Malecki? I have collaborated with John Malecki on several occasions.
We have. You have.
And I'm sure we will again at some point.
Yep.
Do I still work as an engineer, Caleb? I do not. I quit my day job almost 3 years ago.
In sync. Yeah, it's been a while.
Bye,
It
bye,
feels
bye.
like longer, don't you think?
I just had an NSYNC.
Oh.
I said bye, bye, bye.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Sorry, I was not in
I coulda
sync
gone-
with your
I know.
in sync. Sorry. No. Do you think Brian Silva wants to know? Do you think a track saw is worth it? If so, what is a good budget-friendly one you would recommend? You use your track
Cool.
saw quite a bit.
Who was it?
Brian Silva.
Brian. What's up, Brian?
Brian.
By the way, I'm going to go ahead and sign off on Instagram. So for Instagram folks, come over to YouTube, please.
The water is fine.
The water's fine. Go to my YouTube channel, Fix This Build That, and then if you're on mobile, you can see it as a channel. Like if you go to the homepage, it should be there as a second channel. Fix This Build That Live. It's got my little logo on there in white and black. Please join us because I'm going to go and we're going to go hang out with all the YouTube folks because it's a much better experience. Everything's not flipped and it's widescreen 1080. You can still do it on your phone. So please go join us over there. I'm going to go through here real quick and just knock out any questions. Patrick, what dust collection with your saw stop do you end up going with? I've got the overarm dust collection, Patrick, and I'm running that off my 3 horsepower
You've been doing
Jet
that for a while.
Cyclone, and I love it. I love the old school overarm, not the upper one. Found a respirator for work at the pandemic. Edge grain, that's fantastic,
Oh.
Juan. Glad to hear that, man. Hope
Good.
you're doing well. Dust collection system in any of my benches. Jason, I have not. Cooking Carlos, what is up? Sorry you're late. Sorry we're late.
Sorry.
Well, he said he's sorry he's late. Blake Weber, what is up, my man?
Hey, Blake.
I think you missed my question. What's the brand of the countersink bit? Michael,
Oh.
I did miss that.
You get-
It
you get
is.
that question a lot.
I do get that question. I need a Bitly link for it. It is
Yeah.
Amana. I believe it is Amana. Now I'm going to go over here and turn
Amana.
off Instagram. I'll give you guys a little close face sign off. All right, guys, I'm signing off. Please go over to YouTube and join us. We're going to be still going live here for a little while, and you can check it out. It is Fix This Build That Live. It is not my main channel. It is our second channel, which you can get to off of the main channel. So we'll see you over there. Come join us. The water's fine, and we're still drinking a beer. See you guys.
I can tell that we've been around the kids too much because I was really tempted to give you bunny ears while you were.
Right,
doing
I
that.
know, yeah. All
Like,
right.
I had to make myself.
All
do
right,
it.
so this will be potentially the last week, maybe one more week, and I think what we're going to end up
Yeah.
doing is we've talked about this. So we've been transitioning over from Instagram, and what we'll end up doing is doing a pre-show.
If we can get our
Much
act together.
to Susan's
No, that'll be
chagrin.
easy. Why? No.
We'll have to be down here even earlier, or I could do the pre-show on my own, like warm up the crowd, and while Susan's putting the kids to bed. So just a little behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This is how this typically works.
Yeah.
Is that we're eating. I'm
Late.
typically like, hey, it's getting really close to 9. We've said like 8:30 we're gonna have the kids upstairs. That has only happened once since
That
we've
was a
been doing
good
this.
one though. We need to do that.
That
more
was a
often.
good. It worked. It was perfect. And today it was like me yelling up the stairs at 8:56, like we're on in 4 minutes, and I've already brought the stuff out here, and yeah, so that will be a challenge, but. This is
Right.
so much better. And thank you guys for being over here. And it looks like some folks joined us from Instagram. So
Yay.
thank you.
Yeah. We got to get the whole thing.
But yeah,
down.
anyway, that's what it usually looks like at our house as we are scrambling.
Chaos ensues.
Box store says, yeah, okay, cool. Scott says, yeah, I do it. Matthew Blair, he would buy it. add walnut.
okay,
Taylor
yeah.
says. Eric
Makes
Martin says,
sense.
seems like a cool idea. Awesome. Teresa says she'd really like that. Thank you for your input on
Good
that,
feedback.
guys.
Do longer
Malek made a
video.
chisel out of epoxy and failed miserably.
Oh.
Do I think a chisel could be made out of hard, dense wood to cut softer wood like pine? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Something like ironwood, something like that would I don't think the issue with anything that's not steel for a chisel is that you're not going to be able to hold an edge. And John knew that going in. He thought
It was like a test, right?
Yeah, he was just
It's
he's
fun.
just being crazy, which he was just experimenting, and so he tried it and it failed. And
Now you know, in case you were
Now you
considering
know. Now we all
doing
know.
that.
Jason's saying that. Where do I get my locking casters? Simo, locking casters depends. A lot of times I get them from Home Depot, and the Everbuilt ones. Those are the ones I like the best, honestly. I've gotten them other places. I've gotten them, there's an Amazon outfit that sells them, which is like Best Casters or something like that. I ordered a pair, and I didn't love them. They were a bit too wiggly. That's
Wiggly
a technical
casters?
term.
Yeah.
Wiggly. It's like when you
Too
locked them
jiggly?
down, it was a bit too wiggly. They were way cheaper, so it's
You get what
attractive.
you pay for.
It's attractive to pick them up. I mean, they're at least
But if you think about
25% less.
I mean, a caster, I don't know. I mean,
Best Cast or something like that. But now they all match. So now they're all the Everbuilt
They
stuff. I
are.
used to have the orange ones that I got from Rockler, and then not Rockler, Woodcraft, excuse me. And then they stopped selling those, and that was I had those on the old flip top. But now I think the flip
Oh,
top,
that's right.
my first flip top and my first miter stand had the orange casters, and now everything else has the everything else
like a
has
nice
the red Everbuilt casters, and I really enjoy those. They're not cheap, but they work great.
they're worth it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got here?
just
Seth's
saw
Custom
one.
Creations. Love that Susan is in on the live stream. Awesome.
Hey, thanks.
When you buy an XCarve, do you need to wire anything, or is it plug and play? What's up, Seth?
You had a whole setup, right? That you had to do, or no?
Well, I mean, do you need to wire anything? It depends on what you're asking there. Do you need to run wires and do things for the absolute 100%? It is a very involved build.
to put it together.
Inventables is a sponsor of mine, and actually I'll be using the XCarve here this week, coming up on the next project, and I've enjoyed getting to get into the CNC game because I do a lot of 3D modeling anyway, and so it's kind of fun, and I do that kind of stuff.
It's fun. It gives you a lot more options too.
Right, you can do a lot of things, but yes, it is an 8 to 9 hour assembly process.
But it went really well when you did it.
It did. I'm
He
not
was
saying
like,
right, and that's what I was telling
you
people.
were prepared though, right?
I was.
Yeah.
It's not difficult, but it's lengthy.
Right.
Right. They
You
have
need to
very
pay
good
attention.
documentation. There's actually a dude out there who's
that
got
video, right?
There's like a guy
Oh,
who did
yeah.
like 2 or like at least 3, maybe 4 video series on assembly.
Yeah.
And it was it had some better pointers. Inventables does have some good assembly instructions, but they even recommend people like go watch his stuff.
Oh, that's great.
So yes, there is a lot of wiring and assembly, but then once you get everything hooked up, it's just 110 if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. I saw one. Nope. People are talking about Okinawa. Personal
Okinawa.
preference for craft videos that you watch, project focused or skills focused.
I'm sorry, what? I was
It
thinking.
says,
I just saw the instant comment, and I was
Worth
thinking
effort says personal preference for craft videos that you watch, project focus or skills focused.
So if I'm watching skill-based videos, trying to learn something, it's typically electronics. Right now, I've been getting into 3D printing, so
Yeah.
that's been fun as well. I've not really published any of that even on Instagram. I've just been kind of learning behind the scenes, and we did the big thing. I printed 100 face shields for
Yeah.
Vandy, which is awesome.
Drop those off.
I did drop those off, and Nicole, she just sent a little thank you message today. That was awesome. A little
That's
Facebook
nice.
post.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're typically on, more of the electronic side or on the back end side of video production. So whether that's photo editing, video editing, camera gear, those are the things. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of YouTube on that type, on like woodworking skills or anything like that.
You watch like people, right? That you like. You'll watch videos of other folks that you know, or like cool woodworking videos that end up in your feed of people you
that's
don't
more
know.
that's more for
entertainment.
It is more for entertainment, just to like watch my friends what they're doing, and then also just
it's just the up and coming people too.
But it's funny. So the way that I watch videos now, my eye is more towards the production than the project. A lot of times, so I like to see like, what transitions are they using and what angles and how are they?
Like their camera's so crispy, right? Like before we got the new camera, he was like, "But the camera is so good." I'm like, I did not.
I know, and like I like watching the music, like watching the transitions and all that stuff, and that's how I watch videos in our space more often than not at this point. But unless somebody's doing something like really novel, which is always fun. Mike Clifford's a great guy who does a lot of crazy things with like epoxy and concrete, and so like I like watching that because it's new. Different. Chris and Sean over at Four Eyes are always doing cool stuff. So like I like watching those folks who like push the design boundaries too, because I'm not a creative dude. So I like watching people like them who do that because, look around my shop, everything is like square. Everything has straight lines.
You have done very creative things.
Absolutely.
You just think about them. I think that your thing is that you think about them for a long time. I mean, you do. You're a planner. He's a planner. He's an engineer,
I'm
folks.
a perfectionist. What can I say?
Yes, you are.
RecTech Live Pro, back over here from Insta. Awesome, man. Thank you for coming over. And Juan came over as well. Thank you, Juan. And Blake. Awesome. Blake Weber in the house. What's up, Blake? Blake, you were totally right, man. Your shop tour, crushed it. I love it. I was talking to Blake about at Workbench Con about a shop tour.
Oh, cool.
And I noticed a lack of what we were talking about. So I hope that went well, whichever way you went with that.
Very veiled, but good. Yeah.
Very veiled.
He knows what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Carlos is from Cooking Carlos. Awesome, man. Everybody's coming over. We got 42. Fantastic.
All
Dad
right.
yourself.
That's awesome.
What is up? Scott there.
Cooking Carlos.
Let's see here. So, not many character. Oh, sorry. I'm usually, there's a lot, I love it over here in YouTube because there's a lot more conversation in the chat too, because it's easier to see. It's hard to have a conversation in the chat on Instagram because they just fly through so fast.
Yeah.
And you can't, there's not a good way to scroll through and like kind of lock and have everything on.
All right.
So I do have a question. Most of you folks, are you watching on mobile or on desktop? Because I know most people obviously watch, I don't even know if you can watch lives on desktop on Instagram. So I'm assuming most of the folks who came over from Instagram are watching on mobile, but I was just wondering how many of you folks are watching on desktop or even potentially TV?
Okay,
I know some people do watch on TV.
I'm confused. Okay, Impreza Racer STI says, for Easter, I built my girlfriend an LED light-up chicken light to hang on the wall, and she loves it. It times off, what? Time off does have some good,
I guess.
What's a chicken light?
A light up
chicken light.
Chicken light.
What?
It's
for her
chicken
clothes?
that's lit up, right?
Chicken light to hang on the wall.
I mean, it looks like it's a chicken that's a light.
Just a chicken light?
Tell us more.
That was like code for like it turns off after a certain.
Tell us more.
I need a light in the closet that will automatically turn off.
Seriously,
I drive him crazy.
Shoot.
I accidentally leave the closet light on and the light in the other closet more often than I should.
There are some lights you leave on a lot,
yes,
and other lights that you leave off a lot. No, what was the thing that you left off?
To keep you on your toes.
I
don't know.
I don't remember either.
Let's just
but yes, the closet.
Things.
It's always funny. I'll close the door in the bathroom and like turn the light off, and then there's just like glowing silhouette
because it's like on the other side.
Yes. From the closet door, and I'm like,
that's like the little idiosyncrasies of marriage.
Right. Laptop, iPad, desktop.
Oh,
okay.
Lots of feedback.
Okay. So
desktop,
it's
his
varied.
TV. David's got us on the big
on the
screen.
TV. I love it. Fantastic. Yeah. How are you typing on the TV, David?
Watching on the iPad while at lathe making tops. What? That's impressive.
That is, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're making a top, he probably makes a bunch of those.
I'm just saying.
All right, what else do we have here? Speaking of the masks, did I ever figure out a way to make them clear? No, Rick, I did not.
No, we didn't.
But what I found out is that they didn't care. It wasn't as big of an issue as I thought it would.
We can see through them. It's fine.
They were like, they loved them. Because it, for this one specifically, and I dropped these masks off to Vandy. I've got a friend there that works in the ER. She's an acquaintance. She's not really a friend. I mean, We went
In
to high
high
school
school
together.
together,
I hadn't talked to her since high school. And then my sister is a nurse at the same
Vandy.
hospital.
Yeah.
And so like she tagged me and was like, hey, my brother, because I told my sister I was making them and we were going to make them for one of the local hospitals here. They didn't really need it.
Well, they haven't really had.
We haven't
Vandy's
had it.
more like
we're
the
not like
trauma center.
overrun.
Yeah.
And then, but Vandy, like ER trauma center, they go
That's
through
like where
a
they
lot
send
more.
you. Yeah.
Anyway, I gave them to her and asked her her feedback, and she was like, "Oh, these are great because they fit closer to the face.
Right.
Like their other ones, like apparently like stuck way out.
Like angled out really far, and these are a little bit more slim fitting, so they would keep more out. They thought
that was a better trade-off.
So that was really good. It felt, because you never know when you're making something like that if it's really going to be what people want or not.
I know.
So it was good.
Michael Anthony, things I know now that I wish I had known when I started
Gosh,
out.
let's make a list.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Life.
What? Jeez.
I was just talking about life.
Whew, if I'd have known this guy, it's gonna turn into a YouTuber.
No, I made a good choice on my.
It's the best decision she ever made in her
I know
life.
it is. I've told you that.
I'll tell her. I'm like, I don't really tell her, but I think I'll say I tell her.
It's like true for confessions.
I was thinking like, if you'd have married some other dude that had like a day job and who was me? Who was me? For the first. When did I quit?
I mean, you were like a normal dude for a long time.
For the first 12 years of our marriage. If you'd have married me.
What's the whole end game here?
Well, just that now, honestly, like our lives are.
It's very different.
Well, that's not where I was going.
Oh,
they are very different.
Sorry.
But
I'll let you speak.
I was just gonna say, like, our lives are like, our life is like, just really amazing.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Because we just we get to hang out all day, and she's my best friend, and I'm her second.
No, you're definitely my best friend too.
And it's like it's just we did the grind. Yeah. Like that was I did the grind.
You really did the grind. I just did the keeping the kids alive while you were doing that.
I did the corporate life. I did the whole corporate gig. I worked for 3 Fortune 50 companies. Through my career in engineering,
you were really successful, but you hated it.
I was successful and got promotions. In my last job, I was a director of shrink improvement at a large company, and made good money and hated it as I had hated it for the whole, like I was always chasing the next thing, the next job will be better, the next job will be better. But the other thing too is like once you get up higher in the corporate ranks, that progression slows down. So the jobs changed enough in the early days that I was able to move and continue to be like, oh, something new, something exciting. Mm-hmm. And then the last place I worked, I was in the same job the entire time I was there, which was
and
4
it's
years.
harder to leave. Like I remember we had this conversation. It's kind of harder to leave financially when you get past a certain income level, because like
the golden handcuffs, as they like to call them.
Yeah, because you're used to making a certain amount, and it's a little scary when you don't really know what it's going to be like financially. And so
and I was scared about that for a long time.
Yes.
But then we finally decided that
we made changes.
Well, we made changes,
before
and we
preparing.
made a decision at a point to say like, hey, we want to try this. As I was like doing fix this, build that, and we were seeing like, oh, you can actually make money doing this. Like, who knew? And like you can make real money, not just like side money.
I remember the first time we ever had a tool sent to the house.
Oh yeah,
for
it's
free.
Right there.
What?
It's right there.
What are you talking about?
It's that rigid compressor. Talked about that many times.
Oh, okay, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were like,
they were like, hey,
this is amazing. Like,
do you want to check?
They sent it for free,
That was 2014. Mm-hmm. 2014, so 6 years ago.
It was like forever ago.
Honestly, anyway, like it's just it's really awesome to be on the back end of that and have worked through it being a hobby to being a side hustle, and like the side hustle years were insane.
And I would say,
and then coming out the other end.
And speaking about that right now, for anybody who has been working on this as their side hustle, and then maybe with the coronavirus and job situations being really unstable, or just being furloughed or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just feel like this is a time where you can hopefully go for it in whatever capacity you can. Like you probably could say more about that than me.
And I've had a lot of folks reach out or say that they're working on things. And right now, if you're home, I mean, do right by your employer. Obviously, that's what I always tried to do my best at, even though in the very end it started getting a little dicey. What?
That was a child.
Yeah.
Sorry.
big thump from above.
Right. Oh, jeez.
Was to do right by my employers,
Right.
and never let the side hustle affect your day job.
Right.
But that being said, if you're home, you've got a lot more time on your hands because you don't have the commute.
Right.
You don't have to get up as early, like all these other things. And so, apply that time if you're whatever you're trying to do, whether it's woodworking or making movies or,
Anything.
who knows, like selling baseball cards, whatever you're doing, use this time because you've got a gift in the sense that like you have to stay home or you're being
Right.
encouraged to stay home unless of course you are a, what are we calling it?
I don't like really
What do you call
important
it?
person.
Yeah.
Like a. Oh, what is
Front
the
line,
word?
I don't know.
No,
I
like
just
you're
totally
like
spaced out.
you're required. I forget
Yeah,
the name.
so do I.
Okay.
But if you're one of the people...
Essential.
If you're an essential employee,
Right.
thank you so much. If that, what I'm talking about doesn't apply to you. But if you are home, now's a great time. Now is a great time to put effort towards that thing that you've been dreaming about. Whether that's making the website or getting that
Yeah.
logo designed or writing the business
go for it.
plan or
Yeah.
doing whatever.
Well,
Like,
and
go for it.
yeah, for sure.
Because it's we're proof that you can get it. I mean, it's not easy and it's not quick, but
And it's not guaranteed.
not guaranteed.
But it's also everything is inside of your. Everything is like to a degree is more in your control than if you're working for someone else.
Right.
Like what you put out, you get it. What you put in, you get out.
That's right.
Hopefully. And it might be like a little different right now with like sponsors and stuff, just because the economy is a little bit tighter. But there are other ways to do it too.
But I truly believe, I truly believe if you, and just content. If you want to be in content creation, if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be on Instagram, whatever,
Yeah.
With enough determination and learning and getting better, like I truly believe that anybody can do it.
Yeah, I
because it's
agree.
not about like there is no special. I mean, there is special sauce, but there's nothing. It's just about getting better, learning, and just not quitting. Like if you just don't quit, it might take you longer,
Right.
but you'll eventually get there.
If
I
you-
100% believe in that.
If you make it about your audience and serving them and like not have, wouldn't you agree with that? Like having it be more about how you can help other people with whatever that you are skilled at showing them or whatever you have a passion.
A bit of passion for Yingling. We've already got extra beers out here because
I know,
brought
I didn't
beers
know.
and she brought beers.
I brought beers too. Anyway, but
Sorry.
you can hear me over mine. But no, like I think as long as you listen to feedback and can make adjustments, right? And
Yeah.
don't just like assume that you know how to do everything, which I'm sure most
Then,
everyone is not like that, then yeah. Now I'm gonna say
You can do
you
it!
can do it. No, this is like our pep talk. But seriously, I mean, it is exciting. Like I think about
It is.
I
Let's
think
stop
about
talking.
okay, all right. No,
Here.
but character Red has a
Yep.
question. Whoa,
Oh,
stop
sorry.
right here.
Whoa,
I saw
okay.
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it relates. He said, "I'm curious on
Matthew asked, how
when."
do we meet?
Oh, okay, we can get to that too later. Character Red says, "I'm curious on when Susan realized it was more than a hobby as well. My wife is in denial that I want to do this full time."
Who is this asking?
Character Red.
Character Ed. Got it.
So Character Red. Okay.
Is your
when
wife
did
watching
I know?
with you? If she's not, go get her.
Right. She can watch it later.
That's
You know,
true.
she
Never
can.
mind.
Hi.
We're
Hi, Character Red's wife.
We're on YouTube now.
We are
This
on
is
YouTube.
fantastic.
It's a whole new world. No, so for a while it was just a hobby for Brad, especially when our kids were really itty bitty and before we had kids. But I mean, here's the thing for me is that I knew he was not fulfilled with his job and he was not happy with what he was doing 9 to 5. And he had a commute and all of that.
And you were,
so
to set the background, you were
and I was staying at home
mom.
with the kids. So I felt like I was
Just-
living the dream for me.
Right.
Like I really was. I was. No,
Oh,
I
I
was.
know. You
and we
still
both,
are.
okay, would you please let me talk? Good grief. No. So I had it made, right? Like it was great. And my husband had to go off to a job he didn't really love and do that day in, day out. And I hated that for him because I wanted him to be happy too. And also, Brad had an experience before that where a good friend of his, way back in the day, was a basketball coach at a local high school, like a really popular, like he had coached there for I don't know how long, a long time. And he died very suddenly of a heart attack. He was probably in his 40s, I would say. I mean,
Probably his late 40s.
late 40s. And like we knew him. Like I knew him, Brad knew him.
Played poker with him for like 6 years.
Yeah, and it was like he was at our house like the day before or like the week before, helping us move something upstairs, and then he was gone just like that. And I remember we went to his visitation, and it was at the local high school where he coached in the gym, and the line of people for that visitation went all the way through the building and outside. It was crazy. We were in that line for so
There were hundreds,
long.
hundreds of people
all
there.
these former players of his and students because he taught there, and parents and
Their claim to fame,
friends.
he was a coach for Roger Bacon in Cincinnati, and they went to the state finals, and their team beat LeBron James.
Oh, I forgot about that.
There's like a whole documentary on it.
So anywho, but back to the story. But like, I mean, I think that was a moment that that really was a pivotal moment for you.
It was.
That you wanted to do more with your life than just going, like you wanted to reach people and help people and like make an impact, right? Right? Would you agree?
It is.
It's your
I need
message.
to tell
I'll let
that
you
story
talk it.
more often. But
Yeah.
it was. I think that it was like I remember going to that, and I was like, I was really, distraught because it was a guy I'd known for a long
Such a
time, and I was
nice
just like,
guy.
man, yeah, he was a nice dude. But anyway, I was like, then what I was more distraught about was I was like thinking, and I was like, man, look at all these people. Like if I kick the bucket tomorrow, like how many people would be at my visitation? And then I asked her that. I told her that. And I was like, I don't know, it'd probably be like 20 or 30 people, like some close friends and like,
Right.
a lot of great close friends and stuff. But I was like, look at all these people that he's impacted. And that was like a big thing is like, working your desk job. Like if I disappeared from my corporate job, you're just a cog in the machine.
Right.
And they just put a new one in because it doesn't matter if you quit or they fire you or you die. Like they just, people might be
You're
like,
replaceable.
oh, but you're not making an impact on that. Worked for Kroger, has 2,500 grocery stores. Worked for Dollar General, has 15,000 stores.
Right.
Nobody gives a poo who you are, or like you don't have an impact on the bottom. Even the people who do have a huge impact by doing things aren't known and aren't helping them individually.
They might be known by a small group,
Right.
But they're not.
And so that was anyway. I wanted to be able to help people more directly.
And we had conversations about that,
have
and
a
I knew
meaningful
that,
impact.
and that definitely is part of his, not just personality, but like part of what fulfills you. Like that is definitely part of it for him. I mean, I was a teacher, so like I get it because that was why I went into teaching. So I totally get it.
Man.
So I know. So anywho, but going back, like I knew he wasn't happy where he was.
Oh yeah,
And I know
Sorry,
this is the whole
character
story.
red flash,
Sorry,
this
this
is
is
what
how we do it. Yeah. And so when Brad said, I want to pursue this, and he was doing it part time, honestly, the sacrifice that I had to make at that time was I had to kind of corral the kids more like than I was already doing, which at that time they were little and there were 3 of them in close age, and it was a lot. It wasn't like an easy gig. It was definitely for sure a lot of work. But then he was staying up late working every night, working all weekend. I mean, just like our lifestyle changed. Like we weren't like watching TV together on the couch every night like we used to be.
Right.
We weren't going and doing things that sometimes we would, but like we just weren't socializing like we had been before. Because Brad was working and he was building something. But
Awesome.
That was it. Yeah. And so like I don't know. And it was scary though. The idea of him going full time petrified me, honestly, for a while there, because it was just unknown. Like, how's that going to work? And am I going to go back to work, or what's going to happen, and how are we going to manage this?
Yeah.
But I really have thought about this. I wish I could go back and tell myself at that time, and that's when we were here. That was probably like, I don't know, 5 years ago.
2013.
Yes. Well,
2014.
I'm thinking when I was freaked out about it, because he said like,
Oh.
I'm going to go full time. And
That was like 2015.
"Well,"
Yeah.
But like, I wish I could go back and tell myself then to just not stress about it and just go on faith. And I had faith in my husband, but yet I was still worrying. So in a way I didn't, And I mean, I did, but
But it's not always going to be okay.
No. So
And
anyway, I just wish that I
we are
could
the
tell
success
myself
story,
that.
right? But and we had setbacks and stuff, but
And I think the
all in
bottom
all,
line
it's
is
been
that
great.
we want what's best for each other. And I
right.
knew that was what was best for you. Wrapping that up. Put a bow on it.
I know. Sorry,
Story
I
is
was trying to
done.
reel that in.
Sorry,
but
I know.
that was good.
I know.
Good.
But I
that
wanted
was
to
a good
finish
story.
it.
By the way,
for
Impreza
Red's wife.
says it's a chicken silhouette.
Oh.
So
A
on to
chicken
lighter
silhouette
conversations, we'll go back to the chicken
that
light.
has an LED ribbon light inside it. And you can't tell that it's a light switch. Ooh, I want to see this. That sounds
Matthew,
so cool.
you have to ask that question because I feel like we just went through the whole life story. But how?
Oh, jeez.
Excuse me. How we met? Ask us next time. I don't want to go back into that.
Okay.
Let's talk about woodworking.
Okay. It wasn't that exciting.
No.
We met at a party.
That's right. And she doesn't remember. Been a creator, dad, and my wife thought I was phase obsession. Has only recently started realizing it's a thing with me. At what point did Susan realize it was a thing? Oh, she kind of answered that.
Yeah,
hopefully.
see? More people wanted to know, right?
And Blaine, she is from Ohio.
I'm from Ohio.
And I'm from here in Nashville.
I'm from Cincinnati.
And he plans on making a mobile workstation or a wall fold out for the XCarve. We were just talking.
We were like a pull down, like yes.
Yeah.
It's like he's in our head.
I do have hopeful plans for that. Nothing on the well. It's like I've got plans for a lot of things.
It's on a list somewhere.
Yeah,
we've talked about
on
it.
the list.
It's not on the immediate list. But Brad's always out here. He'll come out in the shop and be like, "Dream with me." I'm like, "Oh, I know where this is going." And we come out here and stare around the space we have and talk about how to reorganize it.
We do.
Like once
it'll
a month,
get there sometime.
or maybe
we'll
never get there. We'll keep
RecTech Pro
reorganizing
Audio.
it.
Well, it's always you'll never get there because you
It's a
always
work
want
in
to do something
progress.
else.
Right. Sorry.
The launching your video, just launch, just go.
Yeah.
And then
what did
go
he
check
say?
out
What did he
Made for
ask?
Profit. Go check out Made for Profit. It's my podcast. We have an episode early on about launching on YouTube.
Yeah.
And my number one recommendation to anybody just starting YouTube is just start.
Right.
And like make the most horrible video you can.
Right.
That's kind of a joke, but at the same time, like expect it to be bad. And
good pep talk, babe.
I mean, it's like I'm giving the permission to be bad.
Right.
Is the whole point
to do
here.
something, right?
Because I waited a long time to start for that
Yeah.
reason, and I wish I had those years back. I mean, it was honestly years, about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Because I thought I needed the right camera and the
Right,
right lighting.
right.
Just start, because you'll go back later, and then also then the audience can see your progression.
Right.
And they'll be like, "Oh, dude, I remember.
you'll get
I remember
feedback
when
yeah.
Bro was shooting on his his iPad."
And there's lots of resources out there. Like you could look at YouTube creators. What's Tim Schmoyer?
Tim Schmoyer is a great resource.
Check out Tim Schmoyer. But still, put your videos
creators.
out. Don't even
Right.
just put them out. But then there's lots of video creators. Is something to check out too.
Oh man, I think we're way behind on.
Oh gosh.
There's yep, just launch. Okay, people are telling them just launch, get going.
Yeah. Support from the people.
Fantastic.
COVID-19 is forcing us to change our business, making it more making.
Old
Okay,
business
great.
for making. Yeah, absolutely, Blake. Absolutely, man.
gotta
Sean
do what you
Peterson,
gotta
what
do.
is up? People on furlough. I love this. Love seeing all the conversation here, guys.
Yeah.
Corey Renaud from Canada. Are the kids interested in working in the shop?
It's a mixed bag for us.
It is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But the most interest comes from my middle son, and he's kind of on and off.
He's almost 10.
But we don't do a lot of honestly, I was just thinking about that today. I was like, man, I need to build more with him.
I mean, he's like very creative and just constantly coming up with all kinds of imaginative things to do
He's like
outside.
a swamp rat. He just loves.
What?
He's like a swamp rat.
A swamp rat.
Like if he could just be muddy and wet all day, he would.
Yes, he's like part dog. But
Yeah.
no, he wants to be.
I guess that's better. He's like a Labrador, like swamp
I know,
rat's
he's so
probably
sweet.
not
No, he wants to
great
be
way to describe him.
like Brad when he grows up, but we don't know if he wants to be a woodworker at this point.
David, g'day, mate. Sorry.
It's all right. 20 years from now, nobody will know the effort that you
retired
can-
from the
yeah.
Navy, daddy yourself. Awesome. 20 years from now, nobody will know the effort you put in the months on the spreadsheet, but you see your kids bathing there. Is absolutely. I love that work effort. That's
and then that was one of the biggest things that we got, that Brad got as a payoff, like for going full time, was, and we've talked about this before, the amount of time you get to spend with the family now.
Oh.
It's insane. Like
it's wonderful.
and
It's by far that's the biggest reward for me.
And that was something that we talked
is the
about
family time.
because when he was really going at it and working nights and weekends on the building everything in addition to working full time, our kids were really small, and so it was kind of hard because you're like, oh well, you're like, they're doing cute things, but this is the time that they're going to remember.
Right.
And he's home every day. They get off the bus when they actually go to school, and like now he's home every day. Well, we're all home, but
I wish they
like
would be getting off a bus. I wish they'd be getting on a bus.
I mean, yeah,
We're having
it's
fun.
definitely
but it
harder,
is
but
a
we have a good
challenge.
time with them.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I said it's a challenge.
It is.
You're like, what?
We're definitely less productive.
What's this challenge you speak of?
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay.
Gosh.
Blaine, try it. Yes, if you're using
Try
a
what?
Black & Decker sander, that's probably your problem, quite honestly. And potentially the sandpaper as well.
But be careful about the whole, like,
Yeah.
how old the stuff is. That freaked me
Yeah,
out.
it's all good.
He's got it. Blaine's got it under
yeah.
control.
Mobile cart, first flip top or for a planer drill press sanding station. Oh, wow. Scott, I would say flip top because it's a space saver. If I was going to build any of those, and that is actually the first one that I built was a flip top. So if you have tools that need to go on that, if you have a sander, planer, potentially miter saw can go on there, router tables, I've seen people put almost
All
everything.
kinds of things.
Benchtop table saws I've literally seen every single, I think even bandsaws. I've seen like every benchtop tool be put on a flip top.
Yeah.
And I would recommend
Makes
that
sense.
first for sure. And then the other stuff, what I realized for most of my shop stuff is what do you waste the most time looking for? And for me, like the drill press, like I was always going around and trying to find stuff for the drill press because it was over here, over there, and like having one central spot. So what takes up the most of your time? So like my table saw storage cabinet also is a great
That
one.
was huge.
Oh yeah, because now like I love having, so I have my table saw storage cabinet, I have the drill press, I've got the router table, I've got the
all
flip
kinds
top.
of tables.
As much as you can bring all the accessories you need for a tool to that tool.
I mean, it's just like an organization thing right there. It's like,
It
what do
is.
you use the most? Prioritize that. What do
Eliminate
you need for
steps,
that? And
and,
like have everything have a
My
home.
nose is really itching.
Right?
I don't want to look like I'm picking my
I
nose.
wish our house was as organized as the shop. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I mean, I come out
Agreed.
here and I'm like,
What if we did
ooh.
these cabinets in the house?
We're talking about redoing our kitchen.
I mean,
at
it would
some
be
point.
super modern.
I mean, seriously? With the Baltic birch
Yeah,
in our kitchen?
sure.
No.
I don't know. I was just want to see
I mean,
what you
back
said.
me up, folks. Like, no. No.
Scott, thank you, my man. The old videos are terrible. I know that's the way to do it. Like,
That's just the way it
it's a
is,
great
though.
thing to go back and watch old.
But I'm sure,
and
like-
go back, but that's the thing. Go back and look at anybody.
Right. For sure.
Like
Jimmy,
Bob,
another
Mark, Jay, all the big people in our space.
anybody going or wanting to go start a side hustle or
Me,
increase
for
their side
sure.
hustle. You should also listen to Pat Flynn, for Smart Passive Income. He's got a podcast. He's been out forever and he's awesome. Like so many good resources there.
fantastic.
But if you listen to his first podcast, I was listening
Not
to one of
good.
his recently and he had clips from it and he was talking about how bad it was in the beginning and it was funny. Like it just sounds so different. But I would imagine it would be scary to put out a video. I've never done that on my own. Like I'm putting out a video of myself.
No, it is scary.
but
It's completely
do it
scary.
anyway.
So Seth says that how much will a nicer camera impact your channel? He's got about 9,000 subs. Congrats on that. I mean, that's
Awesome.
fantastic. I think
That's
earlier
great.
he said he was 15 as well, which is awesome.
I'm sorry, what?
15 years old, I believe, is what he said.
Wow, Seth, can I just say?
Kudos to that.
I really hope that that's our kids when they hit 15.
That would
You
be
know what I mean?
fantastic.
That is so cool. Good job.
Yeah.
That's
And
impressive.
So, you know,
Seth's
the learning
custom
curve.
creations. It's so cute. Sorry.
The learning curve. There is a learning curve, 100%. And so I will tell you this right now: getting a new camera is not going to take you from 9,000 to 19,000. Like, I mean, I've not seen your videos, but unless they're really, really bad, people are very forgiving. People are more forgiving of video than they are of audio. So I'll give you that tip.
Yeah.
If you're going to invest in anything, I would invest
Microphone.
in better microphones.
Yep.
For better audio. If you do speaking, if you don't do speaking, then don't worry about it.
It's true. And a tripod. Like, did you talk about a tripod?
Tripod.
Well, it depends on your style. Like if you're kind of like.
I mean, it's kind of it's a weighted question, right? But in general, people are pretty receptive and forgiving. But the better your production quality, the more followers you are going to get, because people do want to watch something that is pleasant and enticing and, all that good stuff.
And they don't have to think about it. Like
they
it's
don't have
just
to think
easy,
about it.
you
And
know?
then, right.
Yeah.
And so it's step by step. Okay, so it's not there's never been an upgrade that I made where I was like, oh my god, even the wireless mics and stuff like that. There's never been an upgrade where I had an influx of subscribers because of it. There have been some, especially in my editing style. They're like, ooh, I really like how you're editing. So the way you edit is, and lighting is a big one too. But like it's a whole bunch of little things.
Right.
And just incrementally add them. You're 15 years old, so I know you probably don't have a ton of extra money. And so invest it wisely. And if you are making money selling things, which it sounds like you probably are, then invest it incrementally. Don't go out and get a super expensive camera. I would personally look at maybe the Canon M50 or like the Canon, like a Canon T6i or something like that. Because going from a phone, then you can like lock in a lot of things like ISOs. Like if you have like a really bright light and then it makes everything dark and like all the color is changing in your video, then that's because of automatic ISO settings and all these technical things. But there are some definite things that a manual camera will help you do, but don't jump ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
I would 100% go audio and lighting before a new camera.
That's awesome, though. Congrats
Yeah,
on the
absolutely,
subs,
dude. That's
and
fantastic.
keep it up.
Yeah,
That's impressive. Your mom
it's-
says personality goes a long way. I saw her.
My
And
mom-
also, I was going to say that.
Cheers, Mom.
I don't know if she was referring to what you were talking about just now, but I mean, and you're probably doing this if you already have 9,000 subs, but just be yourself. Like let your personality shine through.
Yeah.
People
Since
like
I'm
that.
on YouTube for most of this, are these going to be planned for more than an hour? Rugged Rebel.
They could
We're
be
going
for
a
as
little
long
bit.
as we chat.
That's true. We're an hour 10
Although we
already.
would be here for a lot longer.
Yeah, no, we do
than
need to
that,
wrap
so
this
we need
up,
to stop.
actually. Yeah, we
But
do hope to have these for an hour. We started late, and then we told our life story, and so now here we are.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I know.
We hadn't talked about that one story in so long.
I know.
Yeah.
Blake, we've been doing these together for like the last month, man.
I know, Blake.
They've been great, and
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
This is just like normal around our
On
house.
flip cameras, worth effort. That's fantastic.
What was it?
Improve audio
My
step
first
one,
video
says
is
Scott.
on a flip camera. I mean, it's all about putting yourself out
Big
there. though.
Willie's Garage is a sub. That's fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
You guys go check out
Getting
Seth's Custom Creations. And,
Yeah, for sure.
give him some feedback
I
in
know,
his
I'm gonna
comments.
check him out.
I would, we'll have to go watch one of his
That's
videos
awesome.
and give some feedback.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Just bought mics with the stimulus package. That's fantastic.
Thanks.
Fantastic. So, we're going to wrap up because we've been going for a while now. If you've not seen the video for the garage shelving, go check that out. And if you are looking to build some, we do have free plans available.
Yep.
And so
Get organized.
You can pick those up, get organized. If you want to build something more in depth, you can build some garage cabinets, which we have paid plans for. And for all you guys, I know a lot of you have bought plans from us. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you for
really
your
appreciate
support.
y'all's support.
Yep.
And
we do.
we enjoy making the plans and things
We
to
love
help you guys out.
And we love seeing when people make them.
100%.
and-
Email
oh my
us.
gosh,
Either
so
email
much,
us.
So much fun.
You can use the contact form
Yeah.
on the website or DM me on Instagram. And we'd love to hear from you guys.
Absolutely.
So we're going to sign off for now, and we will catch you next Sunday.
Yep.
Where we'll be talking about things and stuff.
And stuff and things. Hopefully at 9 o'clock and not 9:10.
Yes,
We
we'll
shall see.
try our best. That's what we're trying to upgrade, Seth, and upgrade our.
Yes.
When you upgrade too much, you get into issues of
Yeah. Get a
having
little
too
too
much
fancy.
junk to mess with. But yeah, all right, guys, get out there, build something awesome this week, and we will catch you next week at the same
All
time.
right.
All right, guys,
Bye.
see ya. All right, end.